When on a Zoom call, be careful who or what you talk about. You never know what could be lurking around those dark corners. Night's End is a Shudder original directed by Jennifer Reeder, who's directed shorts, a full-length feature called Knives and Skin, as well as a wraparound story for VHS 94 named Holy Hell, and it stars Gino Walker and Felonious Monk, no, really, that's his name, as two friends, Ken and Terry, that are discussing the possibility of Ken's apartment being haunted. There are other characters in this as well. This is basically done via Zoom calls or some kind of Zoom chat. It's almost like a pandemic movie, like a Shudder original called Host. Unlike Host, this was, well, I made the comparison or, mentioned VHS 94. This is like VHS DLC. VHS viral. Yeah. How far should I get into the review before I say, fuck this movie and fuck anything about it? This was goddamn atrocious. My fucking goodness, this was bad. Shudder usually hits the mark, at least for finding entertaining trash. This was abysmal. And it's not even the fault of anybody in the movie giving their performances or doing the best they can. But it's a small cast, which isn't the death nail for any horror movie. Some of the best horror movies have a small cast. I watched The Boy Behind the Door just recently, and that turned out to be pretty goddamn good. So I was like, okay, small cast, cool. You can focus on characters. You can make your characters interesting. Give your characters story arc. You could have good characters. You could have any characters. Or you could be like this movie. You could have a little bit of setup where you think this might be okay. And then the characters will just do stuff for no goddamn reason. And then it's like it just pivots. It's like an amalgamation of the best and worst of VHS to the point where characters just do something where we just throw a curveball here at the end. It sort of reminded me a bit of 1BR in the sense I didn't give a damn what happened to any of the goddamn characters. But let's get into the plot. Such as it is, Ken Barber, Gino Walker's character, is a recently divorced man. His wife, Kelsey, played by Kate Arrington, I would and you would too, is married to a man named Isaacs, played by Michael Shannon. Yes, Michael Shannon is in this. The guy that was in Man of Steel. He was also in Bug. What is it about him being in terrible movies about shut-ins? Yes, Ken is a shut-in. He has his own routine. He has plants he takes care of. He has the windows taped off with newspaper and other stuff like that because he doesn't want to be seen by the outside world. We're not really given a reason why. There could be some mental health issues that he has not addressed, or he just wants to be shut off from the world. He lives in an apartment building that has 2 apartments. I don't think the landlord that, came up with this idea knew the best way to make profit because Ken is the only person there. Nobody else is in the other apartment, mainly because they probably couldn't afford to really shoot in the other apartment. But he starts to suspect that something's going on with his apartment. He's filming some YouTube videos, and they're not getting a whole lot of views. I can identify with that because it takes a while for a YouTube channel to really get growing. He's offering tips on life and all stuff. Hey, you can do this stuff. You can do this stuff with plants. You can do this stuff, but if you're a divorced parent, here's how to maybe handle this stuff the best and other things. Well, then one day he's just talking to his people, and he does taxidermy as well, and a taxidermy bird falls off the thing. Just falls off one of the things in the back. And then it becomes obvious that his place may be haunted. And it turns out there was actually a tragedy that happened there as he explores more and more, talks to his friend Terry, talks to his ex-wife. And as the views grow, because people like spooky shit, he's encouraged to do more stuff. And then he eventually gains the attention of a big channel called Dark Corners. And where there's an actual character named Dark Corners, played by Daniel Keary. And there's also an author of a book that is just like every British, villain from like a discount Doctor Who series, just like rolled into one. Like you could just totally tell this guy's just got this like look like this, ha. And I wonder if he's evil. Oh no, maybe it's just the script that's evil. The script is written by a man named Brett who did a movie called The End, and I don't know. I know that not everybody can write stuff great, and maybe this thing just was cut down severely due to maybe budgetary concerns. Maybe they couldn't really do what they wanted because of the pandemic, or maybe this is just an idea that would have worked better as a short form movie. I feel like I've said that a lot about some of these horror movies that just get stretched the fuck out. You could have taken Boy Behind the Door and put that as a short movie in a companion piece with this. You could have trimmed this down to about 30 minutes, and I think you actually probably would have been better. Because then you wouldn't have been able to realize that none of the characters are interesting. And Gina Walker does the best he can with this character, Ken. He's very conflicted and stuff like that, and he just wants to figure out what the fuck's going on. And then eventually, things really start to go absolutely insane and batshit insane. But not in a good way. Not where like, oh, it's like The Cleansing Hour, and holy shit, you know, I love The Cleansing Hour. I thought that was a great movie, and I'm going to continue to put it in my reviews when I see fit. When I, you know, because it was just a great Shudder original. I enjoyed it, and I thought it was fan-fucking-tastic. I thought it was a great way to use a small cast, and maybe not a minuscule budget, but a small budget in the best way possible, and in one location. And that's the thing, this thing's in one goddamn location. And it just doesn't end up working at all. And at first, I was tempted to just give this movie a mild grade, and then it just really started to irritate me, and really started to irritate me. It started to irritate me because if it was meant to be a horror comedy, it was neither horrifying, well, it was horrifying, it got made, but it wasn't, you know, like, horrible, like, oh my god, this gore, ha 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 ha. No, it was just really, really dumb. It was really, really, really fucking stupid. When they got to the conclusion, actually even before the conclusion, when they got to the last little bit, they tried to do a twist going into the third act. I was like, oh, nobody saw that coming except everybody that possessed even like a 10% attached brainstem. It sounds like I'm knocking this movie, and I am, because I hated this. This is going up there with The Scariest 61st, which I know actually technically came out last year at the end of December, but I'm putting it on my worst movies of the year for this year. Why? Because it was terrible, and it deserves to be mentioned again, and nobody should ever do a movie like that. Nobody ever should ever do a movie like this again. My God. Everything about this, like, the more I think about it, the more pissed off I get, because there was a halfway decent story here. It kind of reminded me of the sick thing that happened to Emily when she was younger, that VHS deal. You know, that VHS tape from the first one. Unfortunately, this also kind of... It reminded me of the first tape from VHS Viral. You know, with a few things, you'll know what I'm saying. And I mean, and Jennifer Reeder seems like she understands how to, like, make a better horror movie than this. And this just wasn't good at all. Like, I really got pissed off by the end, where I'm like, oh, really, that's it? Okay, yeah, fuck you, movie. This is fucking abysmal, fucking trash. The spoilers are not going to take very long, but we are going to get into spoilers here. You can check it out on Shudder. Maybe you'll feel differently. But this is terrible. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Okay, so Ken is talking to his friend Terry. They do some research, and he makes a spirit jar, a homemade spirit jar, a way to capture something, and whatever. And he puts duct tape around a glass jar, and then he has all the stuff going on. This is after a few haunting things have happened. He goes through this routine where he's very routine-oriented. He goes 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's entering the Royal Rumble next? Oh, wait, no. Any people that aren't wrestling fans that are watching this have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. But he has a spirit jar, and it's a way to capture a spirit or whatever. It's a way to harness it and release it and get rid of it. Like, get rid of it out of his building. Like, oh, stop, don't do this anymore. And something happens where it turns out that actually he may have summoned an evil spirit. Except he didn't, because there was a terrible tragedy where a girl tried to chase her father with an axe and attacked him, but then fell out the window, or then maybe got pushed out the window by the mother, because there's this author, Colin Albertson, no, that's really his name, who is the evil British guy that's talking about all this stuff and all this paranormal stuff and this paranormal phenomena. And so after that spirit jar thing doesn't work out, he's talking to him about, you know, this stuff. And let me send you my homemade spirit jar. Let me send you this. And let's do this kind of stuff. Let's figure all this crap out. What the hell are we... It's like, what the hell are we going to do? Ken's asking. Don't worry. I'll take care of it. Guy's so ass-wipingly evil that I don't know how Ken doesn't figure it out. But then the character of Ken is kind of idiotic. He also keeps in contact with his ex. And Michael Shannon's there to offer comedic timing. I guess that's where the comedy comes in, except Michael Shannon wasn't funny in this. And then I'll send you my own spirit jar. And then he does his own ritual to curse the place, because he's a goddamn, you know, satanic, you know, or, you know, bad satanic fuck, because there are good satanic people. Let's move on from that discussion. And what ends up happening is he gets on dark corners, and everybody's there as part of this Zoom call. And it turns out that there's something going on with this particular person. There's this other medium there. It says, whatever it is, it's dangerous. I didn't find anything about, her mother. I didn't find anything about that. Well, that's strange. And the guy, again, obviously evil. How did nobody figure this out? So, Colin's personal spirit chart, which is obviously evil, all this, incantation stuff on it. They don't know what's on the language. Oh, you were supposed to put something special in it earlier? Well, here's some stuff. Here's a bag with things, including his thumb. He cut off his own thumb. It's something personal, so he can become this evil satanic being that takes over everybody, literally takes over everybody, or summons a satanic being. He gets rid of glowing eye things and does all this stuff. And welcome to the age of torment. The writing's absolute dog shit, and at this point, I was just ready for everybody to just freaking explode, like at the end of Ready or Not. Sorry if you haven't seen Ready or Not, but this creature kills everybody, or possesses everybody, and they all die in these locations, and then the creature comes over to Ken's place. Ken escapes, and then all this evil spraying into these houses. It's like one BR. And you see all this stuff going on. She gets this weapon ready and she's going to take it out. But Ken's got an axe and he's like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the demon shows up at the door. Hi, come on back, my friends, to the show that never ends. F. It's a fucking F. It's fucking terrible. Absolutely terrible. God. Anyway, agree, disagree what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.